4 active duty and former service women filing a lawsuit this week in federal court to stop the Defense Department from putting commanders in charge of cases involving sexual assault in their own units. Brian Bouffard is an expert in military justice because he himself deals with many of these cases. He's a former U.S. Navy JAG lieutenant. JAGdefender.com, that's his website. Brian, always great to have you here.
Mike, thanks for having me.
So the issue is, from what I understand, is there's a sexual assault case, right? And then what happens is they have to go directly through their own commander, who may in fact be the perpetrator. Is that the situation?
Well, I think more of the gist of their complaint, and I actually credit a lot of this. I mean, I think a lot of it is well founded. And that is that the ultimate authority in a military criminal case is a person called the convening authority. That is the commander, and 99 times out of 100, that is not a person with any legal training at all. It's a battalion commander, or in more serious cases, a commanding general or an admiral.
Okay. And
the gist of their lawsuit is that they're claiming that it's unfair that a non-lawyer convening authority who may and often does have personal relationships with a lot of the players in a criminal case might be making decisions based on friendship with the accused or issues like that, and sweeping cases under the rug.
And
so that's the claim.
Does that happen a lot?
I don't believe that it does. I'm certainly not going to stand here and say that it has never happened. And if you ask me to list the things that I think are the most unjust aspects of the military justice system, I would also agree that the non-lawyer convening authority can be a big problem.
Okay, but they're dealing with any kinds of problems, right? Not just sexual assault.
Exactly. They are in cognizance over every criminal case.
So do you think that we should just make this one exception for sexual assault cases?
Well, I don't. I don't think that it's right to treat sexual assault cases as somehow special, because I believe that leads to due process problems when you're trying to, when you're trying to pay attention to the most important thing, and that is a fair trial for somebody accused of misconduct. But what I can tell you is, I think it might not be a bad idea to leave the convening authorities with control over military-only offenses, by which I mean things like unauthorized absence or not following orders or something like that.
And let somebody else step in for the other things, right? Well, here's what I want to ask you, Brian, because you're the defender. So of the cases you deal with, what percentage involve sexual assaults?
Well, the percentage of cases that I personally deal with these days, there's a lot of sexual assault cases.
What are we talking about, 50% or?
Of the cases that I personally handle and get hired on, I would say over 50%. Now, that's not saying that all cases.
Wow.
I'm not saying that the vast majority of military cases are sexual assaults. What I'm saying is that they are so serious and they're so commonplace these days as far as prosecutions for them that a lot of those people seek civilian counsel.
Why are they so commonplace?
Well, different people have different opinions. A lot of people say, well, they're so commonplace because, the military is a hotbed of sexual assault, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that I've seen any statistics that would convince me that the military has any kind of problem that is greater than the problem in the civilian world.
Okay, and so what is it? Are there certain dynamics that occur within the military structure that lead to these kinds of assaults? Or?
Yeah, well, again, other than you have young people of mixed genders who are put in the same place at the same time. But you see that in college, you see that in the junior workforce, you see it among fraternities and sororities. So to me, there is nothing about the military that is somehow engendering sexual assault or making sexual assault more likely to take place.
And by the way, I'm talking to Brian Bouffard. It's JAGdefender.com. He's an attorney, deals in both military law and civilian law. Over 50% of your cases are sexual assault cases. How do they usually turn out? What happens?
It's very, very dependent on the facts. Any lawyer worth his salt who tries cases like I do, they will tell you that we win cases we ought to lose, and sometimes we lose cases we ought to win. And, sexual assault cases, the stakes are so high, and there's a lot of potential for misconduct in trying those cases, and so it's so important to make sure that everything is being done.
What do you mean?
Fairly.
What do you mean by that? Why is there such a propensity for misconduct?
Well, because we've created, in the last few years, we've created a system in which some alleged victims are incentivized to make claims that may or may not be entirely accurate.
Seriously, they're incentivized. How so?
Well, if you don't like your duty station, if people are being mean to you and you just don't kind of like what's going on, if you've committed some misconduct yourself and you're wanting to get out of it, claim sexual assault.
That's a serious charge, though, right? Obviously, is it rape typically, or is it kind of some kind of different, subtle type of sexual misconduct they're claiming?
No, I'll tell you the exact paradigm case, and let me compare it to the civilian world. When most civilians and most of your listeners, if they hear the word rape, you think of somebody hiding in the bushes at night and jumping out, and it's a stranger, and it's a brutal sexual assault. Military sexual assault cases do not follow that paradigm. It's usually two people. They're dating. There's a ton of alcohol imbibed on both sides. They get together, they have an encounter, and the next morning one person might regret it, and it's easy to cry rape.
And, okay, the success rate, what is the success rate on these kinds of cases? I mean, is there usually some kind of settlement, or how does it work?
No, they very, very often they go to trial, and a lot of those cases are bad cases, and we win those cases. The government's not able to prove them beyond a reasonable doubt. Other cases are, in my opinion, legitimate cases. They need to go to trial. They do go to trial, and the government can get convictions in those cases. And
as of this week, there's now a lawsuit filed to have the Department of Defense put commanders in charge, to prevent commanders in charge from having these cases, especially involving sexual assault, in their units under their own control. Brian Bouffard is the website jagdefender.com, an expert lawyer in the military system both and in the civilian system, jagdefender.com. Brian, thank you.
Anytime, Mike. Thank you.